So, Mr. Jaitley, your party follows the principle of one man, one post. You resigned as General Secretary when you became leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha. Will it apply to Modi also? He was appointed chairman of the campaign committee, but he did not resign as chief minister.
He is no longer the chairman.
No, now he is not.
It's not necessary. You see, even when I was General Secretary, I was the chairman of the campaign committee earlier. Pramod Mahajan was a minister and he was a campaign committee chairman. Advani ji was a party general secretary or a party leader and he was the chairman. Chairman of a campaign committee is a responsibility. It's hardly a post. So to confuse that whoever wants to become a chairman of a campaign committee must resign all existing posts is not necessary at all. Rajnath Singh today is the president of the party, is also the chairman of the campaign committee.
No, that is what some insiders said that in.
I think it's a very weak comment, because nothing really. If the party president today is the chairman of the campaign committee and some of us are looking after the campaign, helping him, that's quite normal to happen. We can't import people from outside to do that.
No party imports people from outside. But if the BJP says that it is a party with a difference which follows certain principles,
I don't think it is too serious a point for the party even to respond to it. Because a campaign committee is just an electoral responsibility to do certain jobs. As a former general secretary, I can be given that job.
In case of Narendra Modi, it was not such a formal or just, you can say.
You see, if Narendra Modi becomes the Prime Minister of India, he will resign as the Chief Minister. That's the meaning of one man, one post.
That is a compulsion. He can't hold two posts because a Prime Minister cannot be Chief Minister. But in case of Modi, you also held the post of Chairman Campaign Committee, Pramod Mahajan, but there was not such a furor in the.
Anything that Narendra Modi does, there will be a controversy. Anything that he says, there will be a controversy.
Your important ally Nitish Kumar parted ways, so that had a difference, that made a difference. How do you react? Because after all, such an old ally of 17 years parts
I think it's a question which should be best addressed. His plans for the future must have been different. That's all I can say. I don't want to make a comment on it, because when 2002 took place, he didn't. It's only in 2013 that he decided to part company with us. I don't want to say anything more.
But since he was an important ally, and still people say that if there is a situation when the BJP is not able to form government on its own,
well, why speculate on an unknown future? As of today, we are contesting the election under Mr. Modi. A strong BJP means we'll get many more allies, and therefore we hope to form a government. Now, if somebody has left us, it's his prerogative.
His prerogative, fine, but as far as I know, you had a good personal rapport with Nitish Kumar.
No, I have no personal issues with him, and that's why I have a lot of personal regard for him. That will continue to remain. We share each other's affection, but today we are in two different directions.
But some of your party leaders described him as prime ministerial stuff. Even Sushil Kumar Modi, when there was alliance, there was no breakup. Even after the breakup, Shatrughan Sinha said that he is a prime ministerial stuff. So what's your reaction?
I think now that we are moving in different directions, it's better to concentrate on issues rather than to comment on personalities. I wish him all the best. He's adopted a different course of politics. Let's see what happens. History vindicates him or us.
Do you agree, as again some of your party insiders say, that BJP continued alliance with Nitish Kumar at the cost of personal self-respect? BJP sacrificed a lot.
In an alliance, there is always a give and take which takes place. Whether you gain or you lose from an alliance, comments will always be made. Alliances are always a beneficial proposition to both. Alliances only succeed if it's a win-win situation. And therefore, we succeeded as an alliance to uproot a bad government which had ruled Bihar for 15 years. People called it the Jungle Raj. And therefore, I think it was a historical necessity, a service to the people of Bihar that we did. We would have been happier if it had continued for a longer time, but regrettably, our ally had different ideas, and therefore we couldn't proceed.
Again, there is an allegation that the BJP wants to replace the Congress-led government, but hardly there is any difference so far as policies are concerned, either economic policy or foreign policy of the two parties.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as economic policy is concerned, there would be a certain amount of difference. We'd follow the pattern which we followed from 98 to 2004. We'll restore the investment cycle. The Congress concentrated on schemes which can get them vote and in the process damaged and destroyed the investment cycle of the country. Economic activity has today reduced. We will restore this situation back. As far as foreign policy is concerned, India conventionally has not had diametrically different foreign policies, but there would be differences. Differences, for instance, if the NDA was in power, with the kind of tensions taking place on the LOC, with the kind of cross-border terrorism which is being encouraged, we wouldn't have had Prime Minister level meetings in New York. Because this Prime Minister level meeting got reduced only to a photo opportunity. I am not saying we should go on war. I am not saying we should not talk at all. But you could have lowered the level of engagement and given an adequate signal to Pakistan.
No, but Manmohan Singh only carried forward the policy initiated by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So
no,
far as
the policy is that India must have the best of relations with its neighbors. The policy is not that India must be on its knees in order to have the best relationship with its neighbors. Therefore, there is a subtle difference between the two. You must talk, but what is the level of the dialogue? What is the content of the dialogue? And what is the object that you want to get out of the dialogue? I think on these aspects, there would be a subtle but an important difference between the Congress and us.
Your government also took the position that you cannot change the neighbor, you can change friend, and this government also says that it cannot change the neighbor, it can change friends. So the same policy, you have to have dialogue with the person who is creating problem.
Well, I think let me repeat it for the sake of clarity. I am not saying you break off relationship, but the level at which you must have a dialogue must depend on the circumstances in which you are having a dialogue. If terror and dialogue can't go on together, if Pakistan tries these kind of tactics on the LOC, then lower the level of dialogue. You don't have to raise the level of dialogue. Raising the level of dialogue means the Sharm el-Sheikh line. And the Sharm el-Sheikh line of Manmohan Singh was, irrespective of Pakistan's attitude on terrorism, the dialogue will go on. The Vajpayee line of January 2004 in the agreement with President Musharraf was, for dialogue to go on, Pakistani soil can't be used for terror against India. There is a clear difference between the two lines.
No, it is vis-a-vis Pakistan. We can take some other issues like nuclear deal. When the deal was being debated in Parliament, your leader L.K. Advani had clearly said that if your party comes into power, you would renegotiate. You would not scrap the deal. You would renegotiate.
We would. There will be certain aspects that we would, but at the same time, when you get into power, what already has been done, some things can be reversed, some things can't be reversed. And therefore, for instance, what they are doing now, in contravention to the Civil Nuclear Liability Act, we wouldn't have done things of this kind. We would have stuck to the mandate of Indian Parliament. So there would be subtle differences, but in relation with the US, yes, we would be in favor of having a cordiality and negotiations and relationship with the US. We'd like India to respond with greater clarity to the kind of assertion that China is showing on the line of actual control. And therefore, passively accepting every Chinese intrusion as a minor incident is not something which the nation is appreciating.
Mr. Jaitley, you have been the law minister of the country and a very vociferous critic of the appointment system of judges, the way judges are appointed, and you have been saying time and again that India is the only country where judges appoint judges. Now there is a bill brought by the government for the appointment of judges. A commission will do it. I would like to have your opinion. How do you view the Judges Appointments Commission bill?
I am personally in favor of the judicial appointments through a commission idea. I fully support the suggestion, and I have no hesitation in showing I am in broad agreement with the composition of the commission also, which has been indicated. I have two variations to suggest. One, the composition indicating the primacy of the Chief Justice must be in the Constitution itself, so that it's not very easily amended. And B, there is a system of public participation in lawmaking. Both the bill and the Constitution amendment must be placed before the standing committee, so that people can give their comments, stakeholders can address us, and if some minor changes are required, we can always do it. I am not in favor of hurrying it with it in the manner and doing it in a piecemeal manner as the government has done, though I am broadly in support of the idea of the National Judicial Commission.
And what about the Judicial Standards and Accountability Bill?
I am not so certain whether that's going to be a very effective mechanism. That will open the floodgates of complaints and not have a great redressal system. I think if the Judicial Appointments Commission idea matures, ultimately any misconduct falling short of impeachment can also be dealt with by the same commission. We have to see its functioning as far as the Appointment Commission is concerned, and after a reasonable period of time, we can vest it with another jurisdiction.
So there is no need of having another body to
There is no need for having another
enforce accountability, because is the
this body which is being proposed is a very composite body. It has a sizable judicial presence. It has the government's representative in terms of law minister. It has 2 public interest protectees. And therefore, I think it's a composite body.
Impeachment is a very cumbersome process and it has not worked.
And therefore, keep impeachment out as it is. And let's remain, it's a near impossible process to achieve. Therefore, any misconduct falling short of impeachment can be dealt with by the same body. But let this body be created and let's see how it functions.
Thank you so much for talking to Doordarshan.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and viewers, thank you so much for watching this Tete-A-Tete with Arun Jaitley, leader of the opposition Rajya Sabha. Please send your feedback tt.ddnews@gmail.com or sudhanshuranjan@hotmail.com. You can send letters also. Tete-A-Tete, room number 511, Tower B, Doordarshan Bhavan, Copernicus Marg, New Delhi 110001. Good night and goodbye. Thank you.